think the ceiling is for them to win the division.
I mean, I saw a guy that was poised in the pocket.
Phillips' footwork is next level elite. From the waist down, he reminds me a lot of C.J. Stroud.
He showed you today the kind of out of structure, off schedule playmaking ability that he has shown throughout his entire career. It is really special. He has the kind of pocket instincts and that sixth sense to go ahead and make the kind of plays that ordinary humans, ordinary quarterbacks cannot make.
From being the laughingstock of the NFL to now drafting a generational talent at quarterback that has players even comparing him to Patrick Mahomes, the Chicago Bears have loaded up on talent, and after this past week in the preseason, I think we finally got a glimpse at how good Caleb Williams can be and how they're much closer to challenging for the NFC North title than people think. Caleb Williams has looked completely unfazed during the preseason, and I may be jumping the gun a little bit here, and I don't want to put the expectations too high, but Caleb Williams could have a CJ Stroud-esque type of season if the pieces fall the right way. This is a team that can surprise a lot of people this year and be a major problem for the NFL. And in today's video, I'm going to uncover why they have a legit chance at stealing this division, as well as how the trade back with the Panthers has set them up to have one of the brightest futures in the NFL. This is how the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams are about to shock the entire league. So I think it's safe to say that after this past Saturday of preseason games, besides the Patrick Mahomes behind the back pass and Daniel Jones looking like midseason Daniel Jones and just like complete garbage, Caleb Williams was a big talking point because, well, he looked exactly like he did in college. I mean, since day one and pretty much I think from here on out in quarterbacks, everyone is going to be looking for that Mahomes factor of really just being able to make a play out of nothing. And now in Caleb Williams, the Bears may have found that. And honestly, I don't really know if there's more of a team that deserves to finally have a good quarterback after just searching for a good quarterback for like the past decade or two. And I mean, I saw this tweet over the weekend and it really just opened my eyes to how bad the Bears really have had it for the past, it says the 80s. I mean, what is that, like 50 years? That's crazy. I mean, they've never had a 4,000 yard passer and everybody knew that. But on top of that, they've never had a 30 touchdown quarterback and have only had one Pro Bowl quarterback since the 80s. Like, that is just terrible for the Bears. And I mean, like, looking at these plays from Saturday's game too, the ones that like everybody has seen, my jaw was on the floor when I saw these. Like, this kid is looking generational right now. I mean, through the first 2 weeks of the preseason, this dude Caleb Williams was the most efficient passer in week 1, and then on top of that has, as a rookie, looked the most comfortable of everyone from this class. And yes, I get you could argue JJ McCarthy looked great too, but sadly with him having surgery and missing the entire season, Caleb is arguably the front runner for Offensive Rookie of the Year right now and is probably going to run away with it. And I mean, coming from college too, we were so accustomed to seeing him make these crazy throws and not much has needed to change much in his playing style. Like, he still looks as comfortable as ever in making insane off-platform throws and extending plays for his wide receivers to make plays deeper into the play as well. And I'm going to go through the 2 games that we have seen him play right now and just kind of some of the throws that really show how much he just is ahead of the curve of all these rookie quarterbacks and how good he really does look this year so far. And yes, I know it is only the preseason and we need to take these things with a little bit of just a grain of salt, but there's also things you notice and you kind of go, this guy is good. Like, he is better than we actually thought he was. And it's not even the fact that we all thought he's as good as we thought he was. It's the fact that he's actually living up to the expectations that everybody has put on him so far. In his week 1 performance, Williams completed just 4 of 7 passes for 95 yards, but looked better than his stat line would suggest, especially considering 2 of his incompletions were dropped by his pass catchers. Nonetheless though, Williams still made several impressive throws on naked bootlegs to all areas of the field, and the most impressive of the bunch was a 26-yard laser to Cole Kmet right along the sideline. He's kind of doing the same thing here, but in a more controlled way during this game. Like this throw right here where he's moving across his body to make this throw, and it has to pretty much be in the only spot that his receiver can catch it and cannot be underthrown, otherwise it's going to be an interception. He drops it right in a bucket and his player catches it too, and it's just, this throw was insane.
What made him so special at USC is what we saw today, Jeremy. That play to Williams-Odunze, I don't think people understand how hard it is to be drifting left when you're a right-hand quarterback, to square your shoulders up, throw the ball to get enough torque on it where you put the ball where it literally drops in the bucket for Williams-Odunze when he runs and catches it. I remember after seeing that play, I took to Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, Jeremy, and said, that's USC Caleb Williams throwing to Washington Williams-Odunze, because that is what both of those guys did in college.
Like in this game, he ended up playing a little bit longer than most people thought he would. So he went 6 for 13 for 75 yards through the air. And then just this insane rushing touchdown too, where again, this dude's doing the stuff that he was doing at the college level, but at the NFL level now. And now, yes, I get it. Again, this is the preseason. How he thinks the greatest of all time is Aaron Rodgers. And I also, again, saw this other tweet right here that's showing both of their throws that they made. And it's kind of crazy so far. Again, it's only like 2 games into his NFL career in their preseason games, but how their playstyles kind of eerily are just very similar. And I could see maybe, I don't want to say it, but maybe Caleb Williams could match a similar path to A-Rod, with kind of the spotlight being on Caleb Williams. The spotlight was on Aaron Rodgers, trying to lead a franchise back to the playoffs and things of that too. I could see the similarities between both of these guys. And then also their on the field talent. It's just very similar to how they both extend the plays, they throw the ball. It's all very, very similar in each other. And I think one of the coolest things about this game that we actually did see throughout this game too, even though they only had 2 completions, or well, one of them was on the ridiculous play that I don't know why the Bears didn't have their sidelines painted, but of course the Bears would be the team that don't have their sidelines painted, so that way Odunze can't catch the touchdown. But besides that, it's kind of cool just to see these 2 guys kind of building on their relationship together. And if we fast forward, or actually, sorry, I should say backtrack to the past week's Hard Knocks, we actually saw Caleb Williams and Williams-Odunze getting on the same page, and you can even hear Caleb instructing him to get to the back pylon when he does hit the scramble drill.
100%, you know, throw and correct the ball. So I wanted you to go back pylon or stay right there. Right there. Okay. Yeah, I got you. That's why the ball went. Yeah, no, because I seen him outside, so I was like, okay, I don't know if he's gonna go, but settle. I'm in that much space, I'm gonna sit. Settle. Yeah. Come get the ball if it's too far the distance. Yeah. And then other than that, go back. Okay, I got you. It's bad. You either gotta speed cut him on that look, or wipe him. You gotta get him going.
And it's crazy how he does exactly that in this Bengals game, and Caleb hit him. Again, just the only reason he didn't get that touchdown is because the Bears didn't have their sidelines painted, which again, I just don't know why they didn't, but it was just so interesting and so awesome to see that these 2 guys are really building a relationship, and it's going to be something special to see the 1st and 8th overall pick of the draft. These dudes could be something special this year. Now, I've been looking to find the best deals on NFL tickets, and lucky for you guys, today's sponsor SeatGeek has got you covered. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app, and there are more than 70,000 events on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. As a matter of fact, I'm taking a trip to New Orleans this year to go see my favorite team, the New Orleans Saints, play, and had to use SeatGeek to get my tickets all locked up for the game. They put all the tickets across the web in one place to make sure you are getting a good deal, and each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10. So look for the green dots, because green means good and red means bad. And to make things even better, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee, and SeatGeek is the only site that lets you return your tickets ahead of the event with swaps. And look, you guys know I had to come through for you, so use my code KRICH for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. Again, that's $20 off your first purchase with promo code KRICH. So make sure you guys click the link in the description to download the app, and thanks again to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. But for now, let's hop back in. And now with those 2 guys too, and Odunze and just Williams finally starting to gel together too, it's also really interesting to see just the entire offensive unit starting to gel together too, whether that's Keenan Allen being on the field or just Caleb Williams getting in sync with DJ Moore, who's definitely going to be his #1 guy this year, I do believe. Again, he might feel a little bit better throwing the ball to Odunze, and they might just be building that relationship right now, but I think DJ Moore is still definitely going to be the #1 guy. We saw him miss a couple of throws to DJ today in the game on Saturday, but again, that's just kind of going to happen as they do become more in sync with each other. This is going to be a really special duo that we do see on the field each and every Sunday. And speaking of the offensive unit, I really think that a big factor to how good the Bears are going to be is going to come down to that offensive line and just how that unit can not only protect Caleb Williams, but also get the run game going to open up more of the play action for Caleb Williams, getting the ball downfield, and just that rollout game too that's really going to allow Caleb Williams to use his legs even more. And also on the topic of the offensive line, I think it's important to notice too that Caleb Williams, he's kind of, I don't want to say used to it, but he's used to not having a great offensive line. As we all saw last year at USC, he was literally running for his life as soon as the ball got snapped to him. And it's not going to be the exact same thing in Chicago, but it could be a little bit similar where he's definitely going to need to improvise a little bit more than he should need to. But again, he does have that good practice coming from USC where he did have to play a little bit of hero ball, but he won't need to play as much here. And he can kind of start to rely on his guys, similar to CJ Stroud of last year. But he said that he was going to really struggle with the offensive line that had a lot of injuries and things like that. I think Caleb Williams is going to manage it and be just fine this year. And now really, as we look at this Bears team as a whole, I really am excited to see what they can do, because even in the preseason, their defensive unit has looked fantastic all preseason in camp, and even had one of the biggest hits in the preseason yesterday as well. Not only did they look extremely good yesterday, but all week in joint practice against the Bengals too, they were giving Burrow and the Bengals absolute headaches. I mean, right now through the preseason, this defense is only allowing an average of 8 points per game, and honestly looks really scary to play against right now. There have been a lot of reports coming out of training camp and just their whole practices too, that this defense has a lot of swagger to them and has been very loud in talking a lot of smack to not only their own team, and kind of with Jalen Johnson going against DJ Moore and Keenan Allen and Williams-Odunze every day, but he was talking a lot of crap against the Bengals too. And honestly, I think that's a really important thing that we see out of these guys, because it's good. These guys are buying into the Bears culture this year, and they're really believing in themselves and just the team as a whole. And I mean, even dudes that are super quiet like Cole Kmet were even saying things like this week.
And he was asked if Caleb Williams is different from other quarterbacks when it comes to his confidence. What did he have to say?
He said, yeah, he is different. And now this is something that did surprise me, right? If Nate Davis's answer didn't surprise me at all, this did surprise me, because normally when players are asked to compare current player to a former player, they'll usually kind of say, you know what, I'm only going to talk about my guy, or they'll say I've played with a lot of really good guys. But the fact that he says, you know, when Caleb Williams, when the lights go on, his competitive juices are elevated a little bit. He's different. And yeah, that is different from the other quarterbacks I've played with. To me, that was like, whoa, okay, that is kind of saying something. And that is encouraging for Bears fans, that, you know, the hope and the dream is that Caleb Williams is different, right? That he's going to be the guy who finally breaks through. So to hear Cole Kmet, a teammate, say, yeah, he is different out there. He is different in the huddle. That's encouraging for Bears fans to hear.
Yeah, especially
Jalen Johnson has been locking up wide receivers in their own practice, and this week in joint practice was locking up T. Higgins from multiple reports too. So I mean, those guys have a lockdown corner in Jalen Johnson that they can trust. So if they can keep that swagger going throughout the entire year, again, this could be a very scary defense that not a lot of teams are going to want to face, with Jalen Johnson as a lockdown corner and Montez Sweat getting to the quarterback. I mean, these dudes could be scary this year. And now look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that the Bears are going to win a Super Bowl this year, but this NFC North division is definitely going to be a lot closer than people think, and not only between the Packers and the Lions, as many people do believe it's just going to be between. The Bears are for sure going to be a scary team to face this year, and if they can play how they have been playing this preseason, then I fully expect them to be a team that can at least win 10 games. Like last year, they were a 7-10 team with Justin Fields at quarterback, and you guys know how I feel about him, so I fully expect that this can be a 9 or even a 10-win team and get into the playoffs, if not win this division. And like, I mean, as we look at their schedule too, honestly, the front half of this schedule isn't that bad. I mean, they play the Texans and the Colts to start off the season, along with the Tennessee Titans, but besides those three teams, I don't fully expect the Titans to really stand a chance. And we're still kind of seeing what's going to happen with Anthony Richardson. And after that, I mean, they have the Panthers and the Jaguars, which are both games that they could easily win, along with the Commanders, Cardinals, and Patriots. That could easily be a 5-game run of them winning games right there. And all they have to do really is just take one off of the Packers, Vikings. Honestly, I think they could sweep the Vikings, but as long as they get one game against the Packers and Lions, this team could be very, very scary this year. And it's going to be really exciting to see Caleb Williams develop throughout this year. He may even start a little bit slower than I do think, but even if he does start off a little bit slower, I think eventually he will get his feet underneath him, and this Bears team is going to be a scary one to face. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. How good are the Bears going to be? How impressed were you guys with Caleb Williams on Saturday? Honestly, I was watching this game and I just watched while he was playing, obviously, but like, again, I know it's against not starters most of the game, but I mean, still, it was just incredible to see what he can still do at the NFL level and how he's transitioned perfectly. Like, I mean, the Mahomes factor is there. I think now it's just really putting it all together with this team and getting the right play calling and all of that to really see what he can do. But again, I think they're like a 9 or even a 10-win team and could win this division. I mean, whoever wins this division is probably only going to win like 11, maybe 12 games. So it's going to be a lot closer than I think people think, but let me know in the comment section below. Again, if you guys did like this video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with all the people that you know that love football, that love the Bears, whoever it is. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next one.